This video is brought to you by Elsa Speak. Today, we'll talk about the common mistakes native speakers make pronunciation-wise, but you shouldn't. I'm kidding, sorta. You can use the language the way you want, you can play with words, however, it has to be in an appropriate time and situation. Honestly, native speakers of every language break grammar and pronunciation rules. There are peculiar ways to speak and say something in every dialect. Most people who understand will say that it's a normal way of speaking. And it doesn't matter whether you're a native speaker or not, nobody's perfect. Moreover, English spelling is confusing even for native speakers. However, for non-native speakers, it is important to recognize such controversial words, especially when they're shadowing native speakers, and try to avoid using them in their speech, because things like that stand out even more when non-native speakers use them due to their accents and common grammar mistakes. If used unknowingly, meaning that if a person asks you to repeat or say the other way, you wouldn't be able to because you are not aware that you're saying those wrong. And you know, some people say that those sound like nails on the chalkboard and some don't even pay attention to them. So it really depends on who you are talking to, hence justifies the importance of being aware. Let's start with supposedly most common pronunciation error native speakers make in the word etc. It's usually written as an abbreviation like this, and it means and so on or other similar things, and is used at the end of a list. So a lot of people say etc., pronouncing a K sound instead of the T. I guess it's because the first T in this word is a glottal T and a K is produced in the back of the mouth and it kind of just slips. And then we have an S sound and K and S go so naturally together that that's just what your mouth does. Either way, this word should be pronounced as etc. The following words kind of fall under the same umbrella with the way they are mispronounced. Here we have the words escape, especially, and specific. The word escape. Some people will pronounce the word escape as ih-skeyp, adding a K sound before the S, which is not supposed to be there. But I guess this is because we have the letter X in the alphabet and it just naturally happens. When you have these sounds together, like E and S, your tongue just naturally also goes for a K. The word especially might sometimes be pronounced as especially, again, adding that extra K sound. But there's no extra K in this word, neither should you add it. It also might be pronounced as specially, omitting the E at the beginning, but specially is a different word by itself. My son, for instance, so far pretty much always swaps those letters, so instead of saying disc, he says dix, and instead of saying mask, he says max. The word specific is also sometimes pronounced without the S at the beginning, as if it was written Pacific, which is not right because Pacific is a different word. These dropped sounds might be linked to other sounds in words when we're speaking naturally using connected speech, and it might just seem that they were being dropped. However, when these words start a sentence or a thought group, they shouldn't be dropped. Next, we have the word library, which sometimes might be pronounced as library, dropping one of the R's, but this R is supposed to be there. It might be dropped because a person might have just spoken fast or it might have just slipped, but also because a couple of R's in one word makes it difficult to pronounce that word, even for native speakers sometimes. The next word is defibrillator, and it's the same story with this one. The R after the B might be dropped and substituted with the U sound and the schwa. And it will sound like defibrillator or defibrillator. But the correct way to say it is defibrillator with the R and the schwa. The word realtor would sometimes be pronounced as realtor or realtor, which is not right. We can almost never guess the pronunciation based on the spelling of a word, and it's a good guess to assume that the EA combination might be pronounced as the E sound, as it usually is, and that the T might be the fast D. However, in this case, it's not between vowels or after the R before a vowel, which is a rule for making the fast D sound, unless you just put the schwa after the L. The word shindig might be pronounced by some people as shinding, as if there was an ing ending, but there's no ing ending. It's just the schwa plus a g sound. Shindig. The word calculate would sometimes be pronounced as calculate, dropping the L or not articulating it properly. But you really shouldn't drop the L in this word. There is no reason for that. If it happened unintentionally, it's okay, it happens, but it really shouldn't get into a habit. This one is interesting because usually you would hear nuclear, and this is how I would read it even if I didn't hear its pronunciation before. But sometimes you might hear it's being pronounced as nuclear or nuclear, but I would stick to the what is considered the proper way of saying it, nuclear. Let's make a little segue and talk about the sponsor of today's video because it fits perfectly with this topic of pronunciation, as it's an app that helps people improve their pronunciation primarily, but also their intonation and fluency. ih-skeyp. The way it works is you can practice saying different words, phrases, sentences, and even sounds by recording yourself, and Elsa will pinpoint any mistakes you might make by using innovative artificial intelligence technology. And you will get instant feedback compared to a native speaker. The app has 40 plus real-life topics and 1,600 plus lessons that range from business topics like everyday office conversations, job interviews, business travel, sales meetings, to casual, everyday topics like movies, food and drink, education, and entertainment. It also has an amazing dictionary that shows you how to pronounce any words or phrases, and community feature that allows you to add your friends and colleagues and compete with a leaderboard, as well as ask for help by posting a word you're struggling with and having friends help you correct it. I think it's super useful and I enjoy it a lot, just like a lot of you guys do. We've been working with them for quite some time now, and we've gotten a lot of positive responses and reviews. You love that it is very convenient because you can learn anytime, anywhere, and I absolutely agree. Even my 4-year-old son enjoys it. So go ahead and download it right now for free and get 7 days of Pro membership for free. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Now let me demonstrate to you how it works. You can click Video Conversation to practice conversations.
Hi there. My name is Elsa.
You can challenge yourself by speaking right away without prior listening to how it is supposed to be said, or you can listen to the line and repeat it. Let's challenge ourselves. Hello, Elsa. Nice to meet you. If you've mispronounced any words or sounds, you can click on them and listen to how they are supposed to be pronounced and practice them. Now let's try to say this whole phrase again. Hello, Elsa. Nice to meet you. Good enough. I also have an exclusive discount for you guys to get whopping 85% off of the Elsa lifetime membership and 40% off of a 1-year membership. All you have to do is just click the link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. Now we're getting into a gray area pronunciation situation. The following words, incorrect pronunciations, have become acceptable ways of saying those words. So much so that now even in dictionaries you can find all of these as possible pronunciations. Though some native speakers will argue furiously, foaming at the mouth, that there is only one correct way to say these. Others will say that all of these pronunciations are fine. So I'm just going to give you all the ways these might be pronounced. The first word on this list is ask, which sometimes might be pronounced as axe, swapping the S and K sounds. This pronunciation is especially common among Afro-Americans. This one causes debate, but is acceptable. The word February. Since we are on an American pronunciation, Americans don't normally drop their R's. But let's agree that this one isn't easy to pronounce. And I think that's why February became an acceptable way of saying it. Therefore, both ways are okay now. February and February. This word, mischievous. So many native speakers say it as mischievous, when the correct way is to say mischievous. But some people will say that both ways are okay now. The word jewelry has 2 acceptable ways of pronouncing it. Jewelry and jewelry. And the word coupon has two acceptable pronunciations, coupon and coupon. It's your pick. Of course, some will say that one way is correct and the other is not, but honestly, both pronunciations are equally used. Kilometer. This one is also debatable. Americans would usually say kilometer, and Brits will say kilometer. But this British pronunciation seems to have slipped into American pronunciation because some people in the US will say kilometer. However, kilometer is definitely an American way to say this word. Now, look what's going on with this word. There's 4 possible ways to say it. Prestigious, 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 and prestigious. By doing some digging around, I can say that the most common ways to say it are prestigious and prestigious. This word has 3 possible pronunciations: miniature, miniature, and miniature. Miniature, however, is the most common. A friend of mine who helped me with this list also told me that it is common with little kids or people using little kid talk to be silly to say sandwich or sandwich instead of sandwich, and biscotti instead of spaghetti. Okay guys, that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If that was the case, give this video a like, share it with your friends, and also don't forget to head down to the description and get your discount on the Elsa Speak app. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.